Hello guys, this is Avcoor, and I actually want to talk about this character because it's important. Because I think Sun Wukong is a foreshadow of things to come. I already know because I've looked ahead on the Chinese server.
Cowards.
Uh,
Stop hiding and fight me.
this, he's a pretty toxic character. We'll start off with that. He's pretty toxic. That's why I I encourage you, if you spend money, to go ahead and pull for this guy. If you get one, I plan on at least getting one. That means you can actually take him to 3 stars. He's pretty good at 3 stars. Um, when you get him to the full 10 stars, he starts to shine really hard. So if you're worried about like, oh man, this is gonna take a while to get him, it is, it is. And I'm still working on twins. So between him, her, and Elementalist, I'll start building my light faction from there. But he's worth it because we'll go into his kit and why he's so amazing. So let's go here. Let's get out of here. Let's get out of here. Let's go to hero. Let's go to archive because he's in the archives, of course, now. So yeah, yeah. Um, because of this character, this guy kind of falls off hard. Garde falls off hard, and she falls off hard. So like the top three lights are elementalists, twins, and this guy. That's how powerful he is. Even this guy doesn't hold a candle to this guy. So let's go to why that is.
Here, you cowards.
His
Stop
attack
hiding and fight me.
is a little lower than compared. His attack is a little lower than expected because you see here.
The elements. They're one with me.
But you notice that his defense and HP are a little higher than they should
Here,
be.
you cowards.
And his speed is 108.
Stop hiding and fight
And
me.
108 is pretty good. 108 speed is pretty good. Um, one mil 1,007,000 and 40 HP is really good. His defense stats are really good. So you know from right off the bat this guy's an all rounder. They make it clear from his stats alone he's an all rounder. And he's an assassin. It's just weird. He's an assassin that can play up front, our middle, our back. So this is the thing to come because this character can play a lot of different roles the way you spec him. His equipment is important. So when you actually pay into this character, you got to have a plan for the long run. You're not going to switch equipment on him because the higher level equipment is either healer, DPS, or tank. Of course, he's not going to get the healer equipment, so you're going to be switching between DPS and tank because he can do both. He can DPS, he can tank. Um, yeah, he can do both of them, and he can support a little bit, which is pretty good. But even that, there's other aspects of this character and his character design that shine really hard. First of all, Taste My Staff is where this kind of begins. The nonsense of this character, how broken he is. Sun Wukong swings his magical staff, inflicting 360 damage to a single enemy. So he's a good single target character, but you'll see that he can go beyond that. With a 70% chance of stunning the targets. This stun is really important. It's a key aspect of his offense. The fact that this guy can actually stun consistently. Because when you see people like Valkyrie, there are conditions for them to stun. Like if there's no stats on the opponent, she automatically gets a stun. So you can't pair her with people like Succubus or anything like that. But there are like CC talents that allow him to get his stuff up to 90%, close to 100%. So if you stat the enemy down, you can still stun, which is pretty good. That's why he's kind of like the missing piece to the light comp. Where light would normally fall off into oblivion, this guy keeps them afloat because light is a close second to dark, and he's one of the reasons why that is. Him, Valkyrie, Elementalist, and Twins really hold up the element. They really are the pinnacles of what you expect light to do. And that stun is a key component of that because him, Valkyrie, and Elementalist can consistently apply stun to the opponents. So there's just no place for them to breathe, which is amazing. So it gets even worse beyond that when you look past team cons. If the target's HP is higher than 75%, then inflicts an additional 140% true damage. True damage ignores defense. So this dude is an incredible tank buster. One of the best tank busters in the game. And this is one of the reasons why Dragon Princess falls off, because this guy can do the job better, much better. If the target's HP is between 50% and 75%, then inflict an additional 70% true damage. This is really good. So whenever the opponent is 50 to 75%, it's 70%. But when they're at max HP or at 75% HP, there's an additional 140% true damage, which tanks typically float around 75%. So that makes him an excellent tank buster. And the second part makes him an excellent killer of anything that's in the middle, which is a lot of characters when you get down to it. Between the third and fourth turn, this guy's gonna start wrecking. The first turn, he's gonna apply his stab, get clones. Clones take damage. He takes damage. You build up your rage. Then on that second flow of rage, this guy starts to rage swing hard, man. He starts to kill everything. I fought against Monkey King enough, and you can see some of my videos when I fought Monkey King, even though he wasn't really in the game, how much damage he did to my team and how I had to adjust strategy. So I have a lot of experience fighting against Sun Wukong, so I can attest to his abilities. Piercing Eye is another example of things that are to come. This is kind of a broken buff. It's kind of really broken. I don't think it's fair. Sun Wukong, the Monkey King, has all-seeing eyes. One glance from his eyes is enough to discern his enemy's weak points, making his attacks inflict true damage. Additionally, every attack will first inflict damage equal to 77% of the target's HP, which is insane. So he gets an extra attack on top of attack. And let's go back to his stats. You see the 122k attack? I think that should be a little lower because this dude is hitting true damage all the time. Every attack this dude lands hits true damage and actually inflicts 70% of the target's HP. That's why they say he's an assassin, because he can effectively delete enemies with ease. This buff is kind of broken. I think it's more broken than Elementalist I can attack everybody buff. It's really good. It's kind of where things are going to go in this game, which is getting really toxic. That's why I urge you to roll for this guy. Okay, he gets the normal 40% HP, 80% attack increase, yada yada yada. They all do. So this is where the clones come in. Sun Wukong pulls out one of his hairs. This comes from the story, since the developer of these games are Asian, so that comes from the story. I've read enough of Journey to the West to know where that comes from. At the start of his first turn, summons two golden bodies to fight alongside him. The golden bodies have 30% of Wukong's HP and attack, which, if you look at his HP and attack, is pretty decent. The rest of their attributes are identical to Wukong. When the golden bodies are using rage skills, they cannot summon more clones and cannot inherit the effects of talismans, runes, or other similar effects. When a golden body dies, it applies divine power to the hero with the highest attack. Golden bodies cannot be resurrected, which is good. The fact that this is where his buffing comes in, you want the doppelgangers to take damage because the comp will actually target them instead of Sun Wukong himself. And depending where the clones drop at, it will confuse the computer and to attack either him, a tank, or one of the clones. This is really good because it actually messes up the AI and its coordination, when you're able to mess up the AI in the coordination of their attacks, you kind of win the game. Because sometimes the assassins will just target one of these clones, and it sucks up one of their DPS turns, which kind of just throws the whole thing off. This is why this character is extremely broken. If you put rage on this guy, he just keeps going. I think rage is one of the best effects to have on him. Anything that increases his rage, you want to increase his damage. You actually want to put CC on him on his talismans. You want to put CC on him. That's one of the best things you can do for him. Put CC on this guy because once you put rage and CC on him, he's a monster. I kind of had to do this video. I didn't want to. I don't want to praise a character that's so broken, who's meant to suck up your hard-earned dollars. But here it is. Here we are. As far as team comps go, it's like the team comp I mentioned. They actually have one on the Facebook that is decent, but I think Elementalists, Twins, Twins, Valkyrie, and
Who dares disturb my sleep? You need a good beating.
and Sylvie. The reason why Sylvie is so good is after round applies counterattack effect. There's a 50% chance to apply damage increase on herself. Where is it at? Where is that? Where does she do it at? Okay. Where is it at? Reduce damage. Reduce damage is good. That's what I'm talking about. She's able to reduce damage, which is really good to keep the clones alive. And she has counter effect. Sometimes some will get it, but not most of the time if you use the comp that I'm talking about. And the fact that she doesn't die right away is really good. But someone like Sylvie needs someone like Wukong to suck up the DPS that she would normally take, because she likes to play in front because of her attack. She likes to play up front because she has high defense, but her HP is kind of low and her speed is kind of low. So Sun Wukong fills in a lot of her weaknesses and makes her actually really good. So even with this, you can actually play with Polka in an all light comp. You can actually have Elementalists. You can have Sun Wukong play tank. You can have Twins. You can have Valkyrie. You can have Swordmaster. Any one of those, and you can put Polka in because he sucks up so much DPS with his clones. He's really good. He's a really good character. Not much more I can say about it. But I hope myself to get at least him to 3 stars if I can. That's what I want to do. That's my goal. If I can get him to 9 stars, that would be amazing. Because he's a long-term project, but he's worth it. He really is. It's just, he's really toxic at the same time. Anyways, if you like my content, the like, share, subscribe button. I'll get back to you. Laters.